So, since my previous video was about the environment and technology, today I've thought about showing you guys how to repair a wired Xbox 360 controller. Now, this controller has a perfectly functional motherboard. Unfortunately, though, this controller has a very damaged wire. Can you see? Uh, this obviously doesn't work. And the only way to fix this is by cutting this and resoldering it. So let's begin by unscrewing the screws. You don't need the torque screw like you usually need with wireless Xbox 360 controllers. In this case, with the wired controllers, all you need is a normal Phillips screwdriver. So we have 7 screws, which we are going to unscrew. One of them is hidden beneath this let me show you, beneath this I don't know how to call that actually. Let's say a serial number. In case you are wondering, this is a little magnet which I like to use because it collects all the screws and it makes things easier, especially when I work with tiny screws. It keeps them on the magnet, and it's very unlikely to lose them. Okay, so this is the hidden screw. Now, opening this up is a piece of cake. You just stick your fingernail and you pull. Okay. Now, as you can see, the wire is completely torn apart. I will have to clean this up. It's really dirty inside. This wasn't mine. I just got it from a bundle. The previous owner looks like didn't take care of this too much. Anyway, the first thing which you will have to do is to take a photo to those wires here. Okay, you'll have to take a picture, and or if you think you can just remember their correct order, then don't take a photo. But just for safety, just take a photo, because you'll need to solder these wires back to the board in the exact same order. Now, before I remove these wires, here's what's next. I'll cut the wire And you can actually cut this thing, which is it's slipping my mind now. I actually know what this is, but I can't remember now. It's something for electrostatic energy, and an amplifier of sort. Anyway, you can cut from here, you can remove it. The controller will work perfectly without this, so don't worry at all. Okay, so remember to take a picture. I'll pause this video and continue in a couple of seconds. Now, using a razor blade, you can just cut the wire, but not too deep. Okay. Oh my god, I think it was too deep. Actually no, because if I didn't cut those, I would have needed to remove them anyway, because there's a surplus here. There's too many wires. And I'm talking about the unprotected wires, not about the colored wires. Now, roll those together, as you see here, preferably, if possible, without those strings. These are from some kind of textile, sorry. And now we have ourselves 4 protected wires, or 4 isolated wires, I should say. Do the same with those. Okay, you'll have to remove the isolation, just a little bit. Don't press too much, and you can roll the wire while you're cutting. Now, with your fingertip, you can with your nail, you can just remove the isolation. Now, with a lighter, you can just burn those textile wires. Don't need them. Or you can cut them, but I prefer burning them. You really just don't need them. Trust me. There's a piece of aluminum foil in here. Remove that. Now, make sure all the wires are perfectly rolled. Okay, just roll them. They need to be rolled. This is very important, or otherwise you're going to have a mess in there if you don't roll those. I think this is perhaps the best thing to do is to just repair stuff. Alright, in the previous video I have discussed about how we are actually building huge mountains of trash by throwing up everything. But don't throw them. If they can be repaired, repair them. This is some sort of refurbishment. I can repair this, then I can reuse it. Why throw it? throw it in what and create endless mountains of trash, of plastic waste. This is insanity. Besides, you can make a buck, repair it and you can sell it. After all, the board is functional. I don't see why not. So I'm gonna pause again because I need to remove those. But don't worry, I'll show you. Just need to prepare my soldering iron, that's all. Alright, so a couple of minutes have passed and my soldering iron is hot and ready to be used. In the meantime, because this controller, this board was heavily dirty, I'm going to use a normal toothbrush to clean the contacts here, because there was too much dust and I don't think it would be a smart move to put the solder iron in there with all that dust. Now, before you unsolder those, you need to put some flux. This is a standard Amtech flux. It's kind of professional. It's used by a lot of people. This is actually not very good to breathe. It's very carcinogenic, so take care. It's better you do this in a properly ventilated place. So I don't have a flux gun. I'm just going to push with this screwdriver. Okay, I think that's more than enough. Now you heat it up a little bit. That's just about it. Now you will need to put some flux in there and unite all, I mean some solder, sorry, not flux. Unite all the contacts. Okay. Make sure all the contacts are not necessarily united, but heated up. Okay. Hit them. Don't be shy with the heat and constantly move this soldering iron up and down, and at the same time you need to pull on the other side. Okay, it's almost out, as you can see. Not fully. Oh, by the way, I think I just remember what this is called. This is a a ferrite. It's a ferrite. It's a ferrite bead. Come on, get out. All right, that's it. Now, the next thing to do is to put just a little bit of flux on those wires, just like this. Okay, that's just about it. It's enough. And now, is there any solder on this? Yeah, there is. Some of the isolation, the plastic, will melt, as you can see. But that's not a problem. That's not a problem at all. because you can cut the rest. You can just cut out. Okay, that's enough. Now, before you solder the wire back, you need to do a very complicated thing. This is perhaps the most complicated and annoying things of all. You'll need to remove this. This is like a security. It's used to hold the wire inside the case. Okay, because if you put the wire in here just like that without this security knot or whatever it is, and you pull, you're gonna rip the wires from the board. So this is needed. Now, first things first, you're gonna have to cut it. So I'll cut it. Now pull from the other side. Okay, not everything came out. Okay, part of the gray isolation is still inside. And this is the really annoying part, where you just have to use a small flathead screwdriver and just dig around like this. You'll have to dig and dig and then insert it more inside and just keep digging, and eventually you'll separate them because they are glued together. I'll just pause and return when everything from inside is removed. Okay, so I finally managed to remove everything inside. I don't know if it can be seen, but this is empty. Okay, it has a hole, you can see through it, therefore there is nothing more inside of it. This is what I removed. This is isolation from this, actually from this. So now what you need to do is to insert this into the wire. Okay, in this position, not the other way around. This is very important. Just rotate a little bit while holding the cable in place. And eventually you'll see the wires on the other side. Just have patience. There we go. As you can see, this is sliding around here freely, but once everything is ordered and we have the wires soldered to the board, we will glue this. We will glue this in place. Probably it will be something like this or this, I don't know, we'll see. But first just take care of the soldering. And now this is the part where you need that photo which I told you to make, because you'll need to know the correct order of how you will arrange the wires, you know. And soldering shouldn't be too difficult, you know. You just okay, so I will pause. Actually, let me remove those little motors because they are becoming annoying. Okay. Alright, so I have just finished soldering the wires and reassembling the controller. I don't think it would have been necessary to show that on video because that part was really easy, and if you get this far you can surely continue without any sort of guidance. So anyway, this is how the controller looks now. As you can see, it no longer has the the ferrite bead here. But don't worry, the controller works perfectly without it. I also need to tell you that I've just put some glue here at this security thing, and that's just about it. That's how you salvage an Xbox 360 wired controller. Um, if you truly care about the environment, you should do this. Okay, you should repair stuff, and you'll get rewarded for it as well. Think about selling it, and you can make a couple of bucks. Of course, you're not gonna get rich from doing this kind of stuff, but why not? For fun, it can be a hobby. And what can I say? That's just about it. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye bye.